Hello everybody, and welcome to Devlog 14 of Arkmaster. This time we're covering something every video game needs, a boss, and the levels surrounding it. Now this is something I probably should have addressed in the last video, the video about the world map, but here's a crude representation of what the world map is going to look like in the future. Obviously, on each of these continents, there's going to be a bunch of themed levels, as well as a boss to fight. Now, these bosses are each henchmen of the Arkmaster, imbued with power from the Arkmaster's eye, from the Arkmaster himself. That's a lot of Arkmaster. See why this game is called Arkmaster now? Anyways, there's also a whole bunch of lore and stuff surrounding these bosses, but I'll let you figure that out for yourselves. Alright, enough ranting about the other bosses. Let's move on to the first boss of Arkmaster, the boss of the city world, the muscular man himself, Conrad. As you can tell by his appearance, Conrad took the Arkmaster's power and turned it into raw strength. The belt that he wears is the World Championship belt, a harsh reminder of the insane power that he holds. As you can see by these beautifully rendered pictures here, Conrad is about 4 times the size of dude. And when actually drawing up the sprites for Conrad, it's about 4 times as difficult. Creating sprites aside, let's move on to the actual game implementation. So here's the boss level. It's pretty simple, pretty flat. What the heck is that? Oh my goodness, it's the first boss. Look, there he is again. And there's this giant crater here. Oh, there he is again. And there's this nice little shop here, as well as a respawn mural. That'll come in handy later. Huh, and there he is once more. He seems to be patiently waiting for us on top of a faraway building. I hope this isn't a boss fight. You know, I think I'm gonna go into this inconspicuous arena with a bow instead of a lousy pickaxe. Oh my goodness, it's the first boss! Whoever could have expected this? Blah 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 exposition, blah 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 lore, blah blah blah. Let's just get on with the fighting, shall we? This fight can pretty much be separated into 4 separate attacks, the 4th of which happens in the second phase, but we'll get to that later. Let's start with the first attack, the punch. In this first attack, Conrad gets up off the ground and raises his hand to throw a punch. After a short while, he zips forward, killing anything in its path. It's fairly easy to dodge once you know the timing. Next up on the list of attacks is the pound. It's the most common attack, so you better start memorizing the patterns. Conrad lands on the ground, sending a giant seismic tremor ripping through the earth, soon followed by smaller tremors from him repeatedly bashing the ground. Last up on the list of the first phase attacks is the jump. It's a pretty simple attack. Conrad lands, sends out shockwaves, and then he jumps away. And now we're on to the second phase attack, the throw. But I gotta get him into the second phase first, so let me go do that. Once you get Conrad to half health, then the second phase begins. It starts off with a bunch of dialogue and stuff, he gets angrier, and then he goes into the throw attack. Conrad begins this attack by landing on the ground and throwing humongous boulders high into the sky. Then the real hard part begins. As the boulders descend from the sky, it's your job to dodge them, and it's actually pretty darn difficult. But that's what these respawn murals are here for. Now, you're just gonna have to figure out yourselves what happens when you beat the boss. But in the meantime, you can comment some wacky ideas for Arkmaster down in the comments. And while you're at it, subscribe, leave a like, and be sure to turn the notification bell on. Stay tuned.